Hey, Chapel here, and today's going to be the second part in the series talking about the different blood archetypes. Today's focus is going to be about the setups to play on Rogue. Now, Rogue is a blood you will commonly see throughout the world starting from Farbane Woods. As with all bloods, you want to find a 90% plus quality of it to take as prisoner and get blood potions that give you the full benefits. The effects of it are as follows. It gives you critical strike chance, movement speed, reduced cooldown on your dash along with a guaranteed crit after it, and lastly a chance to expose the target, making them take more damage from all sources. Among the main viable combat bloods of Warrior, Rogue and Scholar, Rogue is known for being a reliable physical damage powerhouse with full control over when and where fights are taken due to its high speed. I'll be going into detail on all the contexts they work, including duels, team fights, open world roaming, raid offense and raid defense. And their strengths will be evaluated as S being meta, A being strong, B being viable and C being weak. Spells will be ordered from left to right in each of their categories to give an idea of their strength. First of all, talk about the standard Rogue setup, which most commonly uses Shadow Set, along with either the Yellow or the Mist Amulet. This will typically be played as a buff spell comboed with a defensive. However, this can be tipped towards being more defensive or offensive by playing either double buff or double defense. The setup's very flexible in the playstyles that work with it, but to make the most of any Rogue setup you need to be using primary attack a lot and very effectively, with Greatsword or Spear for close range, Pistol or Whip for mid range, and Crossbow or Longbow for long range. Now across the board, the standard Rogue setup is very meta at the moment, with it sitting at the very top of the totem pole in open world and being very strong in the context of duels. It falls off a little in team fights and all raid contexts due to it being more susceptible to burst and the move speed being less valuable in these situations. But despite that, the damage is very high, so it can always be played. Move Speed Rogue is a setup that abuses Green Amulet and trades some of its damage to have higher move speed than any other build, giving you endless chase potential even versus other rogues. This can be played in a few variations, and while it can be played in the same manner as the standard Rogue, it also maximizes the potential of aggro melee spells such as Soulburn and Cyclone. These can be used for cancelling enemy defensives and letting you hit them at the times where they think they'll be safe. I've also mentioned a third option of Ball Lightning, which is less optimal, but it may become more appealing in the event that Cyclone gets nerfed, which in its current state is quite likely, and while Ball Lightning won't match up to its power, it will fill a similar role. Now the evaluation of this setup's strength is very similar to the standard Rogue for the most part, the main difference being it pushes further its main strength of open world due to its unmatched move speed, yet because of its lower damage it gives it less value in the other contexts, with raids especially this being noticeable. On top of everything else, the aggro spells, and Cyclone especially, are much weaker in a raid context. Cyclone especially is bad due to it breaking on castle walls, whereas in open world it will not break on regular terrain. Finally, I'll talk about Spellcaster Rogue. This is a hybrid damage setup less optimal than the other two, but gives you a way to get more move speed as Scholar with significant sacrifice of spell damage. The main reason you'd want to do this is to cover up the weakness that Scholar has of being weak in open world. This is a clunky bandage solution to open up the option of a weaker blood in open world context, but it is effective in doing that. Due to the lower spell power scaling, I would especially recommend the spells that focus more on utility, such as Polarity Shift, as these will get more value than the raw damage spells such as Shadow Bolt or Chaos Volley, etc. In any option other than open world, you'd be better off just using a full Scholar setup, but to get more move speed here, I could recommend it. Alright, thanks for watching guys, please sub to the channel if you want to see more of this, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. See ya.